Find an annexation for it.
No, pay Ken was in.
Evidently, they just talked about it, it's something different. Yeah. We did. But there's an issue. It'll be. You think she's done, she's gonna graduate 4.1 grade level.
Did you get your new subpoena?
That's so much. What is it?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be there. I won't be there.
So where she headed to after about
I have
Cleveland State.
I have two of my guys at the same time on Friday. So we'll have to push it back for me.
I thought they were supposed to give us 5 days notice.
Her dad says
They
he went
did. They gave
online
us
and
all that
looked.
notice when they gave the first one.
This is a new one. It's not 5 days.
It's still the same date.
I mean,
So I mean, I'm guessing that's what Matt will say. It's just nothing changed. It's the same information. They changed it. So then that would make sense. Then that's the same time.
somebody's gonna take him.
So they gave us all the time, yes. But
I mean,
difference for me though is that like
He's gonna be
you can't be there at 9 o'clock.
So
So
they
they're
go
gonna
to
wait.
school, because in my mind, we were at campus.
was that?
Hopefully just push it back.
The ones that went on the back.
It's okay, I'm not going to accept that.
I mean, once I go back, my status.
No, I mean, for me, should I go there or not?
Depends on what school you're going to be a
Because I'm
teacher
not
to go
the guy that
to
they want to talk
someplace.
That's what I think.
Yeah, so.
When she gets her degree, to go to a school district.
Mike, are you the only one that got subpoenaed from
Yeah.
council?
But yeah, I've always said, I have 2 sons, they're 40, right, they're born in 77, 78. If they move, I go with, if this one goes here, the other one's gotta go there.
No.
Whoever moves first, we all follow.
No.
My baby
You're
moved
just-
last a year ago and he's still liking it in North Carolina.
He got away from it.
I've lived in
And now my other-
California, I've lived in
I
Wisconsin.
never heard of your mom.
Yeah, they don't realize.
I lived in Wisconsin for 8 years. And I lived in California for a while. And when I moved out to California, I was only 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived up there for a while.
Now call the meeting to order for the Village of South Amherst, May 27th, 2025. It begins with the Lord's Prayer for those who choose to participate. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Jeffers. Here. Pasco.
Here.
San Giacomo.
Here.
Stetsky.
Here.
Trokey.
Here.
Ashari.
Here.
All right. You had the minutes sent out to you. I'm sorry, the packet sent out to you. Do I have a motion on the floor to accept the agenda? With the amendment of the SAFD new hire council member.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
A second.
Jeffers. Aye. Pasco.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
San Giacomo. Stetsky.
Aye.
Trokey. Motion carried.
And the minutes for May 12, 2025. Do I have a motion on the floor to accept those minutes as presented?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Jeffers. Aye. Casco.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
Majak.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, so everybody, welcome to the Village of South Amherst meeting today. We welcome to encourage the residents to participate during our council meetings. During the public comment portion, each resident will be given up to 3 minutes to share their comments or concerns or suggestions. Please be respectful to the time limit so it gives everybody the opportunity to speak. If further discussion is needed or your comments need to follow up with anyone, you're more than welcome to follow up with myself or the mayor's office or council at a later time that we can discuss in further detail. So with that being said, any visitors would like to speak right now?
I like to speak.
Thanks, Tom.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Fisher. I live at 203 North Lake Street over here. A couple of months ago, about mid-March, my wife and I put our house up for sale unofficially, but we realized that we had to do some things in order to get this house sold. One being a septic inspection. We realized it had been a couple years since we had had our septic system pumped. Didn't really have any issues in the house, nothing like that. So we called Father and Sons Plumbing or septic, and they came and they opened up our septic system to a mess. It was full, overflowing into our yard. We didn't, not crazy fast, just a slow seep into our yard. And the pump was fried, the aerator was gone, everything was just basically destroyed in there. So Father and Son pumped our system. They gave us a quote to replace the damaged equipment of $4,500. I started looking at the itemized list that they gave us, and I was like, maybe I can do some of this work myself, save a couple pennies. So that's what I started to do. I bought a new pump, I bought an aerator, I did the work myself with the help of some people, my neighbor Kyron, Councilmember Rob, they helped out. Once I got all these components replaced, my system still wasn't functioning properly. So I got a number from someone at Burnett's. His name is Albert Salem. I wish he could be here tonight, but he's not. He helped us investigate, find where the stoppage was in our system that was backing it up. My neighbor Kyron here, his idea was, well, do you remember when they replaced that water line in front of your house a couple summers back? So yeah, good thinking. So we sent a probe into the line. The probe located right at the sidewalk, the brand new sidewalk right in front of my house. We needed to do some more investigating, so we started tunneling. We dug, probably 2-3 hours of digging in my front yard, tunneled underneath the sidewalk, and found a piece of PVC pipe that was connected to my septic line that was smashed. And that was what was blocking my system. Now, we also found while we were digging the piece that whoever repaired my system had broken. One piece was broken off, one side was broken off rather, and the other side was cut with a saw. So I know that it was repaired, but it wasn't done properly. So Kyron and Rob and myself went to Home Depot, got a new piece of pipe, replaced everything, a nice long piece of pipe, so everything's on the outside of the sidewalk, no more tunneling under that, and now my system is functioning properly. I am simply seeking to be reimbursed for what I spent and the labor put in by me and Rob and Kyron. That is all. I have itemized, well, it's kind of my notes, but my receipts are all on my phone. I have everything written down here. Do you want me to go through all the numbers?
If you want to email, possibly just email Rob all of that, he could send it out to council and just everybody else so they could take a look at it. Obviously, it's not something that we could just like flip over and then make that decision. So, because we have to do our own investigation work now, because like this is like, we've heard a little bit from Rob, but nothing in detail. So once we obviously do a little bit more investigation on our end, then we can obviously give you an answer on what we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I was going to say, yeah, Rob will get you his email. He's probably going to grab his card right now,
Cool.
and then just email it over to him, just PDF, whatever you can send over.
Sweet. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Rob. Is that
Absolutely.
good then?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate it, Tom. Thank you so much. All right, anyone else? No one else? Okay. All right. Moving right along. So I have nothing for myself. I was out with face surgery. So thank you everybody for well wishes and prayers. Everything went off really well yesterday at the community, or at the Memorial Day Festival, or I'm sorry, the parade and everything. So it was awesome. So other than that, the law director is not here at this moment, so we'll be moving on to the fiscal officer. What happened?
Law director will not be here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Payment listing and financial reports were emailed. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So at the last meeting, there was discussion on the paving projects for Vivian Charles Kenwood, Buckeye, East, Erie, and Juanita. The first one, Vivian Charles Kenwood, total 61.5. The Buckeye East, Erie, Juanita is 50,905. As Dave stated during his piece, that I said that we would need to reappropriate, which is true. The issue is I need to find out how much you're willing to reappropriate. And where you want it to come from. So if street is to, your first option is Vivian Charles Kenwood at 61.5 to come out of street would simply be a reappropriation. To do Buckeye East, Erie, and Juanita, in addition, at the same time, $10,000 can come from street, the rest, 40,905 would come from general. If you did not want any of the general fund to fund that, we're looking at 2006 for Buckeye East, Erie, and Juanita. And then whatever you decide, the appropriation ordinance will be at the next meeting, which is June 9th.
Any thoughts on that?
I'll make a motion that,
Let's just get back to that.
Becky?
oh, I'm sorry.
I just had a question that, 'cause like I said, I know we haven't moved anything in a long time. What is, as the fiscal officer, what is your thoughts on if we take the 49 out of the general fund? How does
That would
it,
be fine.
that would be fine?
That
Okay.
would be fine. And we can either, if you want it to come from street, we can transfer it to street versus do it from the general. It's really up to you.
Okay.
Okay. Chief?
So I will make a motion that we approve 61,500 to come out of the street fund. And then can we just vote on that one and then do the other one next? Two different motions.
Option one is to do them both at the same time. Street, general.
Okay.
Option two would be to split it 1 to 25, 26.
Option one, street, general.
Okay, so just as I presented.
Yes.
I'm gonna transfer it into street and then we'll pay it all from street. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, because that way we know.
And then we'll be able to track it easier in future reports.
Right.
Okay. And then I'll just get at the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? No discussion, roll call, please.
Jeffers. Pasco.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trojki.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Then the other question I have is the NOPEC grant money for the fire station lighting. My question is the grant was for $44,604.12, and the estimate was $5,297. The estimate was there, is it just the straight replacement as council dictated? Was there any changes or anything? And the reason I'm asking is because it will determine where it comes from.
There's no changes that I was aware of. It's pretty much replaced the lighting that was what we asked for in the estimate.
Okay, so then that will come from the general fund. Am I understanding?
Any other discussion?
She said she doesn't need a motion.
I don't
Okay.
need a motion. That was already decided.
Wonderful.
Clarification.
All righty.
And that's all I got. Thank you.
Wonderful. Records book.
World War II Veterans 100th Birthday Parade at 3 p.m. on June 8th. Goes South Lake, Russia, Annis, Main Street to the church. Please be out to help celebrate the special occasion. 12 by 18 inch flags are available at the town hall for people along the parade route from 8 to 3, Monday through Thursday this week and next week, if anybody wants to get some.
Thanks so much. Anything else? Yeah, yes, Chief.
Besides the webpage, has it been posted around town, or have we done anything like Facebook posts? So
Yes, it's been on Facebook. I'm going to put it out again this week and next week. Papers were contacted, whether they put it in or not, that's up to them. I do know WOBL will be at the Gronsky home live connection for that. We've tried, maybe even reached out to news and media.
and when you say the church, which church is it?
Old fashioned Baptist where we vote.
Will there be any kind of a cake or event after that?
Yes. Yes, there will be, let's see, two state representatives, the mayor, Commissioner Moore. Well, it's all off the top of my head, giving presentations. We have something from Representative Latta. So yeah, there's a few things to go on, a short program at the church.
So is this only for the people that are in,
No, for anybody.
for the public?
Jeffson.
Just the date again in case anybody else is.
Sunday, June 8th.
Okay.
3 o'clock.
All right. Nothing else? Records work, all good? All right, moving right along to utility administrator.
So the only thing I really have is I'd like to kind of draw attention to some concerns that have been coming up lately, and I just want to put this out in public. Regardless of whether someone's the mayor, council member, committee member, employee, resident, all the same rules apply to everybody concerning late fees on water bills, post-construction permit fees, if you build something after a permit or without obtaining a permit, code violations. Everybody is on the same level. No one gets any special treatment. I just kind of want to reiterate that to the public, that don't ask for favors or discount. That we go by the codified ordinances. So when fees are applied, they're the fees. There's no getting around them. So that's all I have.
Wonderful, thank you so much. All right, moving right along to departments. Under fire, it looks like we're looking for a motion to approve Jay Simmons as auxiliary. Is all of his paperwork in?
Yes.
Okay. So do I have a motion on the floor to accept Jay Simmons as an auxiliary fireman with all of his paperwork in?
I'll make a motion to approve Jay Simmons as an auxiliary firefighter.
I'll second.
All right, discussion. No discussion, roll call, please.
Jeffers. Aye. Pasco.
Aye.
Nashari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Chouwaki.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving right along to buildings and grounds.
Yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. It's for the buildings and grounds, but we've also invited the safety committee as well as the fire chief and the assistant chief. I guess at the last safety committee meeting, there was some asks that involved buildings and grounds, and we need to discuss that and figure out what direction we're going to go.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Moving right along to ordinances. No objection by reading by title only. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Ordinance committee.
Oh, wonderful. Go ahead, Rob.
1834-25. I move to amend ordinance number 1834-25 as follows. 30 feet amended to read 50 feet. Deletion of D2 simplified as E1 to read any amplified sound with such a volume as to annoy or disturb the peace, quiet, comfort, or repose of persons where such a noise is plainly audible at a distance of more than 50 feet within the village. Section F to read as follows: the following acts from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and the causing or permitting thereof are hereby declared to be violations of this section, but such enumerations are neither deemed to be exclusive of, not limited to, and renumbering and lettering of each section.
All right. Look for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Pasco.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to ordinance just by reading by title only.
Okay, first,
So I move to take the motion from the table on ordinance number 1834-25.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Pasco.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, final reading of ordinance number 1834-25, an ordinance repealing existing South Amherst Codified Ordinance Chapter 509.08, enacting new South Amherst Codified Ordinance Chapter 509.08, noise disturbances.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1834-25.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just want everybody to be aware that this is not any kind of draconian thing regarding noise. South Amherst used to be a much quieter, slower pace. And we're just trying to put this on the record and clean it up a little bit so that when there is a really disturbing amount of noise and, you know, talking motorcycles that sit at the traffic light and rev their engines ridiculously loud for a long period of time, that there's a recourse that can be done. My wife and I, we live right on Main Street here, as some people in the audience, and it's probably the worst right around here. I mean, it's constant. I'm not going to say that this is going to be an easy ordinance to enforce. In fact, it's going to be hard, according to the police, but it is complaint driven. So if we see it happening, we can call the police, and they said that they would do their best to handle it. That's about it. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it, and I really would like this place to calm down a little bit, be a little quieter.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, man. All right, no other discussion. Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Aye. Pasco.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 1835-25, final reading, an ordinance amending section 1129.02 of the codified ordinances of the Village of South Amherst with the addition of definition maternity home.
I move to approve ordinance 1835-25.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Aye. Pasco.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 1836-25, final reading, an ordinance amending section 1165.09, conditions for specific uses of the codified ordinances of the Village of South Amherst with the addition of conditions of specific uses, maternity home.
I move to approve ordinance 1836-25.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Aye. Pasco.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye. Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 1837-25, final reading, an ordinance amending section 1133.05 of the codified ordinances of the Village of South Amherst with the addition of conditional uses, maternity home in the agricultural residential district.
I'm-
Go ahead.
One of us will move to approve ordinance 1837-25.
The second.
Don't jump all at once. Any discussion?
Question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I overslept and I missed the hearing. How many, what's the number of residents that we're talking about on this? Does that come up yet?
The total amount
Total
that
amount.
could be there would be 20. That's including the adults and children.
Is there anything beyond this, or is this the final phase of this approval?
What do you mean?
Is there any additional approval beyond what we're doing here tonight for this?
Yes, because then once they do their conditional use permit application, the planning commission will review it, and then along with the police chief and council. During that phase, you can put more stipulations if you so choose, the planning commission can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no other discussion?
Jeffers.
Aye.
Pasco.
Aye.
Kashari.
Aye.
San Giacomo.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Chorky.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 1838-25 to pass as an emergency, an ordinance repealing existing South Amherst Codified Chapter 921.02, enacting new South Amherst Codified Chapter 921.02, deposit required, termination of delinquent accounts, habitual delinquent accounts, and declaring an emergency.
I make a motion to approve the passes emergency ordinance number 1838-25.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion, roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Pasco.
Aye.
Lashari.
Aye.
San Giacomo. Sisky.
Aye.
Chorky.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to miscellaneous, Ward Hill.
Okay, so both Rob and I had some good news. I reached out to Schmidt, Lynn
Lynn.
Schmidt, and asked her if she could help me figure out how to try to reach some maybe students that went to school with Miranda Ward, to see if they still lived in the community. Maybe they could help me reach out to the family members. And I had actually thought her mother had passed away, but Lynn found her, got me the phone number. I've talked to her. She's ever so thankful and excited and going to have family here, so on and so forth. And she was very pleased about what we're planning on doing. And then, Rob, I'll let you take it.
So I reached out to Mr. Jim Pearson, who wrote the original request to council to have a monument and have it named Ward Hill after the young lady. And at first he didn't remember writing this letter, but then once I actually sent him a copy of the article or the letter that he wrote, he said it all came back to him, and he is absolutely just ecstatic that we're doing this and that we're pursuing this. He is currently living in Los Angeles at this time and will be performing in Greece when we are planning on this ceremony. So my only ask is if we can maybe somehow plan to not only live stream this for him so he can be a part of it, but to kind of solidify it in the history of the village here, and it can live on our YouTube channel.
For sure, absolutely.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask about, I think that there needs to be some planning about this. I know that David has worked on cleaning up the bench and is going to be looking at what type of a marker that we're going to put, naming it Ward Hill. And for those in the audience that don't know, there was a young girl in 2002 that was hit on South Lake Street along with her cousin, and she died. Her cousin is still living. I think she's in her 30s. And I went back and checked the minutes to see if the request that was received in 2002 from this young man in 8th grade at the time was honored, because none of us really knew anything about it. And the bench had been kind of abandoned out there and it really needed a good cleaning and everything. So, I went through the minutes and the mayor at the time had a moment of silence, the meeting happened right after she passed. I couldn't find anything else. And so we are going to name it Ward Hill and then, we're going to have a rededication and hopefully invite any residents or whoever wants to come for this rededication. So, I'd like to suggest that it's on the date of her passing, which is August the 26th. And I would also like to know about what time. I think it should be like 4 or 5 o'clock at least for people to be off work,
Yeah, that
to
would
be able to attend. If that's okay.
Mhm.
And then I've also talked to Mrs. Whitaker, who owns the building next door, and she says she has no problem with us utilizing the parking there. So that's part of the plan, but who wants to help plan this?
Becky?
I'll help you.
Okay,
Let me know.
okay, alrighty, so
Yes,
we'll get
figure
together.
and figure it
Okay,
out.
alrighty.
Jeannie,
Okay.
and just let me know. I'll be a part. Just I'll show you what
Okay.
I find and go for approval for
Yeah.
that.
Okay, alrighty, thanks.
What did you say? She couldn't hear you.
What's that? Oh, I said I'll be a part of it. Just let me know when you're gonna be, because I'll bring up what I have for the sign and the post and all that kind of stuff.
Anything else from Ward Hill?
There is one other thing, the beautification ladies.
Mhm.
I had commented to them about something about planting some type of flowers that would bloom, that would be around either the back of the bench, and they said, well, it'd be nice if we had some pots of flowers that they could do. I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's a budget or.
They do have a budget, yeah, so they just keep the receipts and then, obviously we don't get taxed, so.
Okay, so we'll talk about that then in the.
Yeah, I'm pretty much liaison right now up until we find somebody else to take that over, so just get with me and then I can get with the
Okay.
girls, so. All right, and then, officer/staff meetings?
Well, the law director isn't here, so I can't really ask him the question that I was going to ask. But, so I'll just say that we'll table it for now.
Okay.
No sense to take up time.
All right. And then the next thing we have right here is executive session, but with the law director not being here, do we still enter executive? Is that
Yes.
still needed? Okay, all right, just gotta make sure. All right, so do I have a motion to enter executive session to discuss personnel accordance with ORC 122.22G1?
So moved.
So it's a first and a second.
Second.
It was Jeannie and Michelle. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for everybody for coming. We're going to close down for executive session.
Yeah, I think so.
And